Baba Vanga's predictions for 2026. Have you heard about the most chilling predictions for next year? Imagine a blind mystic from Bulgaria, known for foreseeing 9/11 and the Chernobyl disaster, warning that 2026 will be the year our world changes forever. War, unstoppable artificial intelligence, and even our first verified encounter with aliens. This isn't science fiction. This is what Baba Vanga predicted for 2026. Baba Vanga's eerie track record. Now, before we dive into these startling visions, let's ask, who was Baba Vanga and why do millions still believe her? Known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, Baba Vanga was a Bulgarian clairvoyant who lost her eyesight as a child in a freak accident. Out of this tragedy, she claimed to gain a mysterious ability to glimpse the future. Over decades, her reputation grew, attracting everyone from ordinary people to presidents seeking glimpses of what awaited them. What makes her story even more gripping? Some of her predictions seem to come true with haunting accuracy. For instance, in 1989, she reportedly spoke of steel birds attacking the American Brethren, which believers later linked to the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers. She foresaw the Kursk submarine disaster, so specifically that in 1980 she declared, "Kursk will be covered with water and the whole world will weep over it." 2 decades later, this became reality. But it doesn't end there. Baba Vanga supposedly predicted the Chernobyl nuclear disaster in 1986, the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, and the election of Barack Obama as the first black president of the United States. These moments, uncanny as they seem, have been pored over, debated, and discussed endlessly, drawing a sharp line between ardent believers and rational skeptics. Even in 2025, a violent earthquake in Myanmar seemed to echo her forecast for major natural disasters, just as she envisioned a year of shattering earthquakes and economic turmoil. Many point to cluttered records, unreliable attributions, and a swirl of secondhand accounts. But every year, as her prophecies circulate online and in the media, humanity's collective curiosity is ignited once again. So why do her words about 2026 draw such intense fascination and fear? Because this time, her warnings touch every edge of our modern anxieties. War, ecological collapse, the power of AI, and the possibility that we might not be alone. Ready to find out what she saw in our near future? Let's step into the shadow of Baba Vanga's vision for 2026. Predictions for 2026, a world on the brink, the war in the East. Baba Vanga's most infamous prophecy for 2026 is that war will ignite in the East and spread chaos across the globe. A conflict so fierce it could destroy the West. She allegedly described a chain reaction of escalating tensions, starting somewhere in Asia, which would ripple across continents, destabilizing countries and changing the balance of world power. Many who have studied her predictions connect this with today's rising unease. Growing friction between superpowers, ongoing wars, and diplomatic failures that echo through the headlines right now. She was even said to have warned of a third world war, a phrase that for anyone living in the nuclear era instantly conjures dread. Some interpretations suggest she foresaw clashes involving Russia, China, the United States, and their allies, all triggered by disputes that begin far from Western capitals, fueling global disruption on a scale we've only imagined in disaster movies. A twist in her 2026 vision names a powerful leader from the East. Some claim this is Russia's Vladimir Putin, rising to become the so-called Lord of the world. This shadowy figure, she implied, would shape the new order as old alliances collapse. Her hundreds of fans and followers have seized on this image, watching closely as real-world leaders flex their power. If this prophecy sounds ominous, remember, these are not precise reports with dates and places. They are riddles that feed our deepest fears in turbulent times. But that perhaps is what makes them grip the imagination so fiercely. Could the wars, sanctions, and new arms races we're seeing actually be opening moves in the dark scenario Vanga warned about? Catastrophic natural disasters, a planet under siege. Next, Baba Vanga's prophecy moves to the earth beneath our feet and the skies above. She claimed that 2026 would be a year of devastation, with massive earthquakes, violent volcanoes, and brutal weather-pounding human civilization. She described disasters on such scale that nearly 8% of the world's landmass could be affected. Cities wiped out, communities scattered, and entire ecosystems thrown into chaos. If this sounds impossible, consider consider recent disasters already shaking public faith. In 2025 alone, deadly quakes struck, wildfires burned across North America and Australia, and catastrophic floods turned quiet towns into lakes. For climate scientists, news outlets, and ordinary observers, the idea that we're on the edge of environmental collapse feels more plausible with every anomaly, every heat wave, and every ice cap in retreat. Baba Vanga did not specify exactly which countries would be hardest hit, but her message was clear. Nature itself would seem to lash out, as if reflecting humanity's own imbalance. Some say her vision echoes our fears about climate change, the growing frequency of 100-year storms, and the harsh reality that no city, no matter how modern, is safe forever. Are we on the verge of earthquakes swallowing cities and volcanic ash clouding the sky, just as she foresaw? Some followers see every environmental headline as proof that Vanga's warnings are coming ever closer to reality. Others urge caution, seeing only broad predictions colored by human anxiety. But with every new natural disaster in the news, her vision lingers, casting a long shadow over the year ahead. The rise of artificial intelligence, machines in control. Just as the world reels from conflict and calamity, Baba Vanga's prophecy takes a chilling turn toward technology. She warned that in 2026, artificial intelligence will reach a tipping point, evolving beyond human control and beginning to dominate our lives, our jobs, and even our governments. Vanga envisioned AI not merely as a helpful tool, but as a force capable of making critical decisions for humanity, outpacing our ability to direct or restrain it. This idea struck a nerve long before ChatGPT, Midjourney, or autonomous cars became household names. Today, as headlines shout about layoffs from automation, AI-driven bots writing articles and code, and debates rage over machine surveillance and bias, her words ring out with new urgency. What exactly did she foresee? Reports suggest she pictured a society where machines govern vital systems, influence politics, and reshape the meaning of work. The scary part, many contemporary philosophers and tech leaders, including Elon Musk, have warned that poorly managed AI could become the most significant risk to our collective future. Ethical dilemmas, job losses, and questions of agency become central in Vanga's 2026 scenario. If her vision is even half right, 2026 could be the year the world wakes up to the reality that digital intelligence is no longer just a servant, but in some ways, the new master. It's not hard to feel the tension. Are we already sliding toward the future she described, or is this simply another reflection of our contemporary fears? Either way, her prophecy stands as a stark warning. What happens when the algorithms we built begin to build our future, whether we're ready or not? First verified contact with extraterrestrial life. If war and disaster weren't enough, Baba Vanga's 2026 prophecy plunges us into cosmic mystery. This year, she claimed, will mark humanity's first verified contact with alien life. According to her tangle of visions and reports, a massive craft would approach Earth, visible, undeniable, impossible to dismiss as a trick of the light or a product of wild imagination. Enthusiasts and UFO experts have latched onto this prediction for decades. Some even link it with real events. The Pentagon's release of unidentified aerial phenomenon footage, mysterious fast radio bursts, or the approach of unusual interstellar objects like 3I Atlas, which some experts track with mounting interest. Vanga's followers believe that in November 2026, as per her cryptic timeline, this craft will reveal that we are not alone. Reports swirl with speculation. Would this be a threat or a turning point for human understanding and peace? Will it be a moment of awe that unites the Earth, or ignite a new era of fear and confusion? For many, the idea remains tantalizingly out of reach, a perennial what-if scenario. Skeptics scoff, noting the long history of failed alien predictions, but believers point to a growing convergence between technological possibility, unexplained phenomena, and a century of science fiction mounting toward reality. Could a ship really descend from the stars within the next 12 months? Will humanity's greatest question, are we alone, finally be answered, just as Baba Vanga foresaw? If her prophecy rings true, 2026 could be the year we all look up and discover the universe is far less empty and far more complicated than we ever imagined. The shadow of economic crisis, the cash crush. Lurking behind these dramatic events is another of Vanga's eerie warnings, a global cash crush. She purportedly foresaw a time when both digital and physical money systems teetered on the brink of collapse. This crisis, she hinted, would ripple through the world economy, freezing trade, crashing banks, and leaving society scrambling for stability. Interest in this prophecy has only grown as inflation surges. Digital currency scandals shake investor confidence, and central banks warn of recession. Could a perfect storm of war, natural disaster, and technological upheaval push the global economy past its breaking point? In Vanga's vision, it is entirely possible. Financial experts remain skeptical, noting that while economic cycles are unpredictable, no single event is likely to cause a total system crash. Still, the cash crush is a powerful image, one that resonates with anyone who has watched the world scramble to recover from banking crises, pandemic disruptions, and escalating international sanctions. As with her other visions, it's a warning that feels both timely and timeless. Why these predictions haunt us? Why do these specific prophecies, war, disaster, AI, and alien contact, spark so much tension and curiosity today? Partly it's the timing. Our world is more interconnected, more fragile, and more unpredictable than ever. Instability in one region spreads quickly. Scientific advances outpace regulation. Ecological stresses multiply with every passing year. And as each impossible event of the past decade comes true, we're left with a strange question. What if she saw something real? But there's another reason too. Baba Vanga's visions are never just about events. They're about uncertainty, about the feeling that the ground beneath our feet isn't as stable as we thought, and that no one, no leader, no scientist, no mystic, and no machine can guarantee our safety. She puts into words what many feel. Next year, anything could happen, and everything might change. Are her prophecies inevitable fate, or just clever echoes of the fears we already have? That's up to you to decide. If you found these visions as spine-tingling as I did, hit subscribe so you never miss a deep dive into the world's greatest mysteries. And let me know in the comments, do you believe Baba Vanga's 2026 prophecies could actually come true, or are they just superstition for a new age? Your thoughts could be the next prediction everyone is talking about.